Guys, thanks for listening to the J. Scott Outdoors podcast. I also want to thank the following sponsors for their support of this podcast. Without them, this podcast would not be possible. I want to thank the Go Hunt Insider, Lorenzo Sartini and his crew over at Go Hunt. They have created the Insider, which is an amazing tool for you guys that are researching all these different western states and looking for which units to apply for and put in for. They also have the Go Hunt maps, the Go Hunt gear shop. Right now, go to gohunt.com, click sign up for the Insider. Use the J. Scott promo code. You're going to get a $50 Go Hunt gear shop gift card just for signing up. Go Hunt's been with me since the beginning of 2015. When I started this podcast, they've been a very loyal title sponsor of this podcast, and I want to thank them for their support. Make sure to go and sign up for the Go Hunt Insider. Use the J. Scott promo code. Guys, I also want to thank KUIU Ultralight Hunting. That's KUIU.com. KUIU Ultralight Hunting is a direct-to-consumer brand that sells the best ultralight hunting equipment and gear on the market today. You can go to KUIU.com, and order directly there on their website. I also want to thank Phonescope.com, Cheston, the guys over at Phonescope. Go to Phonescope.com. Anything you order there, use the JScott23 promo code, and you're going to get a 10% discount there at Phonescope. I also want to thank Lathrop & Sons, their custom boot system and custom footbed manufacturer. These guys are the boot doctors, the boot gurus. They're very, very helpful. They know a lot about boots. I have switched this season to the Lathrop & Sons Encompass boot. That's what I've worn primarily on my Coues deer and mule deer hunts in Mexico. And then I use the Mountain Hunter for my sheep hunts, specifically desert sheep, in any of that more technical terrain. Lathrop & Sons has a phenomenal 3D mapping imprints and tracing kit. They make custom orthotics, just really, really comfortable, very user-friendly boots and custom insoles. Go to lathropsons.com to find out more information. You can also check out Lathrop & Sons on Instagram. They have 3 custom boot options: the Mountain Hunter, the Mountain Hunter Elite, and the Mountain Hunter Encompass, as well as the High Country Synergy footbeds custom. They also make all of these custom footbeds in wide and super wide, as well as the boots, which is rare for a boot manufacturer. Reach out to the owners, Stephen and James at Lathrop & Sons at 618-544-8782. That's lathropsons.com. Guys, I want to thank you for supporting this podcast. Love to hear your feedback. Any questions you might have, you can reach out at jscottoutdoors@gmail.com. That's my email address. You can follow along on Instagram at jscottoutdoors. Always feel free to send me a direct message. Love hearing from you guys. And let's get right to these episodes. Guys, welcome to the J. Scott Outdoors podcast. Today we've got the guys from High Point Outfitters, Kevin Call and John Adams. Guys, how you doing?
Doing great, Jay. Yeah, fantastic, Jay. Look at the snow outside. It can't get any better, right?
Yeah, so since the last time I think we talked, rumor has it that Kevin's head has gotten so big because of a gigantic mule deer that he shot that he can hardly fit through the door frame.
Facts.
Is that a fact, John?
Yeah, that's a fact.
It looked like the good Lord shined on you pretty good on the Kaibab there, Mr. Kevin.
You know, Jay, it's been a long time coming. I've helped hunters, help clients kill 200 of these bucks, but I finally got one myself, and yeah, it's a good one. So I appreciate that. It's a good one.
Yeah, it looked real bladey, heavy. Looked like it carried its mass like throughout. I mean, it looked like the old time classic Kaibab buck that we all, we've all grown up dreaming about and seeing every once in a while. But it seemed like it was one of those dark antler, just big old gnarly bucks.
He is, and just big, heavy frame, just big old monster front end on him, double eye guards on both sides, heavy all the way out. He's a good buck, Jay. So I'm excited to put him on the wall. Took him up to the expo last week. My nephew Brian wanted to see him and some other folks and stuff. But it's been fun.
That's
cool. What I'm excited about is, Jay, the mule deer in Mexico, Lorenzo got. I'm glad to see you're finally seeing God's chosen deer.
Seeing the light. Yeah, was. It's been a long time coming for me for mule deer down in Mexico, and I've just, I've leased a few ranches here and there over the last 27 years, but none that really had the potential that I was kind of been looking for. And long story short, we were able to get a great property and had pictures. I went down there, Phil Kramer, Seth Maskey, we went down there and put a bunch of cameras up. And down there in the desert, it's like anywhere. It's imperative to kind of know what's around, and it's so vast and big and thick. It's kind of hard to get inventory, and we were able to get some pictures of that buck. And so we knew he was there, and the hard part was, we kept thinking that deer was, 200 to 205, maybe 210, because I kept trying to tell the guys, like, listen, these deer are smaller. They're not like strip deer. They're not like Kaibab deer. They're not like the big bodied deer in Colorado. Like, these are smaller deer, so we need to adjust kind of our mindset. And as soon as we actually were getting videos of him live in person, and then as soon as we saw him on the hoof, it was like, oh man, this deer is a really big deer. And so that was a lot of fun, for sure. But yeah, Mexico definitely can kick out some really good deer. I think one of the hard things to swallow in Mexico is there's just so much high fencing. There's so much artificial insemination. There's just stuff going on that is like so far from kind of what my value set is. And so to have a ranch that's free range and to see a deer of that caliber that's just a wild pure deer was pretty awesome. But I do have a couple questions real fast about your buck, Kevin. Was that on the rut hunt, and was he rutting, or how did it go down? Did you catch him on does, or did it happen fast, or what happened?
Yeah, Jay, it was kind of crazy. It was on the early rifle hunt. So
it was early season.
Yeah, early season. Typically, the bucks are by themselves, bachelored up. We found this buck kind of in a transition zone. He was bedded down. Believe it or not, we were hunting another buck, and John was helping me. He had just his mom had killed and his client had killed, so John was with me as well.
With Shane.
With Shane Woodruff, and we ended up picking up this buck. He was bedded down. We watched him for 30 minutes. He was in thick trees. We just couldn't figure out what he was. He was bedded down in the snow. We knew he wasn't going to get up. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning. We knew he was going to be there pretty much all day. So we just kept looking. We looked at him for 30 minutes in the BTX, and we knew he was heavy. We knew he was good monster fronts. We just couldn't tell anything on the back end. And we finally got a little tripod on the back end, and we thought, man, we've got to kill this buck. And he was 330 yards, so I whacked him, and Shane was looking through the BTX at the time when I shot, and he said two things I'll never forget. He said, "That's a dead buck," and he's better than we thought he was. And I was like, man, I'd love to hear that. So
That's always a good thing to hear, for sure. Well, congratulations, guys. We're actually getting to have a podcast where things are looking pretty darn good. I kind of want to get your, overview before we dive into specifics, but like it seems as though the forecast, it seems as though the moisture, everything is really pointing in a direction of some real positivity for this upcoming season. What are your thoughts?
yeah, Jay, we've everything we're looking at snowpack. I mean, all the units around Flagstaff, all the units that we hunt. I mean, 180 to 200% of snowpack right now. I mean, it's just off the charts. January was good to us. I ended up, both John and I got over 4 feet of snow in a 2-week time frame there in January. It was off the charts. It just kept coming and coming and coming, and it's still here, of course. So it's we're going to have a great spring. Good antler growth. Our snowpack is finally we've got some good snowpack to talk about. So that's a good thing.
Awesome. So with that being said, we know how important winter moisture is. Going into now, I feel like in Arizona, we're, in February, we're already starting to, call it spring. Although I know you guys in Flagstaff, it's still cold mornings, but the light is almost at the end of the tunnel of getting through winter. We know that's, winter and early spring moisture for early green up. It's very important. How important, though, do you think having two pretty good monsoons where the animals going into this winter were already had quite a bit of feed on the landscape, and then you throw good amount of moisture and snow? I almost think that combination there, it just sets this antler growth season up to be something really special.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, is there
And
any?
we're even telling people, like, if you got, like, even downgrade, just get a tag this year,
So pick a lesser unit just to have a tag because of the great year, where some of the mid-tier units you think might really shine on a year like this. That's kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, even look what the mule deer tag just sold for in Utah. I mean, there's definitely high hopes this year.
Yeah.
There's definitely some units that have, still some age class, but I mean, even a 300 bull could be a 330 bull this year, just with, a good start, good fronts.
Yeah, Jay, just like you pointed out, and we had phenomenal summer monsoon. The grass was just incredible. They're in good shape. They went into winter good. We've got great winter moisture. Everything is pointing towards. I mean, I can't imagine not having phenomenal antler growth this year in elk and antelope, or elk and deer. So we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah,
awesome.
Even during all the hunts last year, you couldn't even get around because there was roads washed out, or you know what I mean. So the reservoirs are finally somewhat starting to fill back up, or dirt ponds and stuff, or have water in it that haven't had water in the last couple of years. But yeah, no, it's definitely. It's been a long time since we've seen it this good.
Awesome. Let's dive in a little bit. You guys, your kind of baby, if you will, is Unit 10. Obviously optimistic about Unit 10. Talk a little bit about last year, how it went, and how that fares going into this application season, and what you're expecting out there for the archery. I believe the season starts on the 15th. That's also a new moon, so it'll be dark. Just curious what your thoughts are on that Unit 10 archery elk hunt.
Yeah, I mean, last year we were a start of a full moon, so this year no moon is going to be obviously different. Last year was actually really fun hunting with a full moon. I've never hunted like this opening morning. Really, just get the wind right and just start walking into the wind, and all the elk were completely dead asleep. Like you would just walk up on bulls that were completely passed out from exhaustion all night, and you would be within bow range of bulls just walking, keeping the wind right. It was kind of a different tactic than we've ever had. But
yeah, I've seen them where it's bright moon and they're rutting all night, and then maybe like an hour before the sun comes up, they get that period where they kind of, they lay down and they kind of they've been going all night, and so you get that like hour and a half period before it really gets light, where it does seem like the bugling kind of subsides, and even that first hour during those full moons, it sometimes takes them a while to kind of get going. Antler growth, obviously we can make predictions, but do you see Unit 10 trending upward as far as age class and size, or do you think it's pretty much the same?
Yeah, no, it's definitely going in the right direction. We've never, take for last year, right? Mediocre year for moisture, antler growth, and we killed 2 400-inch bulls on the archery hunt last year. And that's just due to, age class.
Something happened on your mic and it really got turned up or something, so maybe back off or something. Unit 10, we had those years maybe 7 to 10 years ago where they had upped the tags and it was kind of trending down, but you think overall just on a graph that it's either holding steady or maybe possibly trending up?
Yeah, Jay, in 2015, just an example, there was 200 archery tags in 2015. Here we are now with just 100 tags, so half the tags just 7 years later. So what a huge difference, and very similar to the early rifle hunt that had crazy 100 early rifle tags. In fact, I think. Yeah, so they've reduced the tags. We're comfortable with where they're at now. Certainly, the age class is getting better, but the antler growth and the opportunity in 10 is off the charts. You probably noticed in 9 they're reducing tags. They're finally starting to, I think, maybe see the slide that we've seen the last 4 or 5 years in 9. They're starting to reduce the tags. That should help, Unit 9 as well. But 10, they've stayed steady after, cutting the tags in half just, 7 years ago. So it's all pointing in good direction for Unit 10. Glad to see the reduction in 9.
Yeah. What about, say, units like 7, 5B, 6A, any of those, Unit 8? Talk a little bit about those or anything that jumps out at you.
5B North, we're excited. We've got an early rifle bull tag in 5B North. Actually, in 5A, they got an early bull tag. Both of those, ought to be, good hunts. We've done well in 5B over the years. We can always find some whopper bulls in 5B North, so we're hoping to get a client or two on that early rifle hunt. But 7 West staying pretty strong. We're 7 East. We had that big fire last year that burned a lot of 7 East. They shut down all the vehicular traffic into 7 East, which certainly saved a bunch of bulls. Maybe we can get lucky and have 7 East come back sometime soon. But yeah, I think all the units around Flagstaff have good snowpack and have good, will have good antler growth, and we're staying steady. We're staying steady on age class. 10 is improving. 5B is improving. 4A is another one that's improving. That's kind of unique. So we've got some units that are starting to pop up a little bit. The other units are pretty much just staying steady.
Okay. What about as far as late elk hunts? Which units are kind of your favorites for the late elk?
We love 23. 23 is a great late hunt. But Joe, as you know, man, that is the wrong time of year to be hunting elk.
Oh yeah.
But quite frankly, for non-residents especially, that may be realistically their only chance to come in Arizona to hunt. So we hunt 10, we hunt 9, 5A, 8,
7 West.
5B, 7 West. We did well in 7 West on the late hunt. Same last year, we did well in 7 West. Again, not the right time of year to hunt. And of course, the bulls are, all by themselves, not talking. Of course, totally different type of hunt. But hey, that may be the only chance to hunt a premium unit in Arizona is that late rifle hunt. So we hunt them all, and we just get after it and do the best we can. But by far, 23 late is the best late rifle hunt. But we'll do 9, 10, 7 West, 5B, 8, 6A, any of those units, we can kill good bulls out of.
Let's talk a little bit about antelope and your thoughts on Arizona antelope, and maybe cover some of the units that you like. Any changes there? Anything you want to point out?
Well, they did cut tags back in Unit 10, which I was glad to see that finally. So that is a good thing. They did increase some tags in 7 by 2, but Unit 10, it's just going to take 1 or 2 years for that unit to jump back. It's not going to take a long time, but man, it was tough to find a book antelope last year to shoot. I mean, it was tough. So that's where we've been a lot. 5B is still a great unit. 5A is a great unit. We've done really well in all 3 of those units. In 9 and 7 East, 6A honestly is probably one of the top units in the state now. It's a tough tag to get, but there's some stomper antelopes in 6A now. So,
okay.
And we would have thought about 6A being a top tier unit for antelope, but it's definitely come a long ways.
I know it's early to even be thinking about it, but I know you guys are deer nuts. With everything you saw in the Kaibab this year, with this moisture that we have and the moisture they have on the Kaibab, you can't help but probably have your mind wandering to, June when we have to apply for deer. How well do you think the Kaibab is going to respond to the moisture that we've been getting?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's off the charts. Like we usually you're trying to kill like 160 bucks, right, on the early Kaibab, to be realistic. Like we usually try to tell clients, like, hey, like, be realistic. We can show you like a 160 buck. We killed a few 180 bucks last year. My mom killed like a 197 buck. Kevin killed a 225 buck all in the early hunts. Then we killed another 230 buck on the late hunt. I mean, it's just, it's awesome. The number of deer, we could hit a slump because of the fawn recruitment. If you remember back, like, what was it, 3 years ago, I think? 3 years ago, the fawn recruitment was bad. So I hope we don't experience that. I hope we don't feel it. But the age class could skip, a year coming up here in a year or two. I don't think it's going to affect us bad because we did see a lot of quality bucks that did not get taken. But man, they're the upcoming, deer class that's going to be coming up over the next few years is going to be awesome.
Jay, just coming back from the expo, so of course went up over the Kaibab. They've got the same 4-foot amount of snow at Jacob Lake. In fact, the snowplow pile was higher than the stop sign, so it's 8 to 9 feet high. So they've got their 4 feet of snow up top. The nice thing about the Kaibab is we've got a ton of winter range, at 5,000 feet. And at 5,000 feet, there's virtually no snow. So, of course, I'm a little worried. I've got max points in Wyoming, and I thought maybe this year would be the year to burn max points in Wyoming. But I'm getting worried about some winter kill in Wyoming, Idaho. That's the nice thing about Arizona. Our temperatures just don't get that grueling. So even though we have snow, there's plenty of wind range. The temperatures are mild compared to up north, so we very rarely, as you know, get winter kill. So I can't imagine that we're not going to have another good year. They reacted. The game fish reacted quickly to the drought. They cut tags. On the late hunt, we were at 135 just 7 years ago. 135 on the late hunt, we're down to 50. So, they cut them, by 75%. The early hunt, they cut in half. Same with the archery hunt, they cut back in half. So they reacted well and saved a bunch of bucks. And we certainly see the age class strong right now on the Kaibab. We're excited to get back on the Kaibab and see what's there. We're just about ready to go up and do some horn hunting. So it's a fun place, and they got great moisture. Age class is good. The Kaibab is going to be real good.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thanks for coming on and sharing with us. I want to give you a chance to let the listeners know how to reach out to you guys. I know we still have about a week or so before this application deadline, so why don't you do that, and just appreciate you guys coming on.
Jay, we appreciate you having us every year. We enjoy talking to you and kind of getting an update of how your season went as well. The best way to catch us, especially we got, like you said, we got one more week. By the 14th is the deadline. The best way is to send an email to us at shoot, so it's SHOOT, shoot at highpointoutfitters.net. That's the best way. We got a lot of phone calls and we miss and we play phone tag. The best way, shoot an email. I'll shoot you some recommendations depending on how many points you have. If you want to do archery or rifle, etc. Give me as much information as you can, and we'll send you our recommendations. The best way, John does the best Instagram. His AZ_hunter. And then mine is HPO_Kevin_call. But our website, highpointoutfitters.net, is the best place to see what we're doing and get pictures and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we would love to help anybody get a tag, whether they use us or not. We get people drawn all the time and just love to see people getting Arizona elk and antelope tags and deer tags.
Awesome, man. Well, sounds good. Well, you guys take care, and we'll be chatting at you closer to deer season, okay?
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.